here in Clovis, California for the Pelco practice labs. It's kind of a practice criterium on a semi-closed course, very little traffic, up in Fresno, and there was $100 up for first place, which is kind of cool because usually it's just for fun. But somebody had donated $100. Mark Tucker actually, he won it at the circuit race in Manteca that I posted. He got $100 for getting first place, so he turned around and immediately donated it to the Pelco Criterium, and winner takes all. Or if it was a breakaway, the winner of the break got $50 and the winner of the pack sprint got $50. But it so happened that it turned out, due to the format of the race, that it ended up being a pack sprint. So normally there's two large teams. There's the Ride Bikes Bros and the ATP coaching team that usually have the majority of the riders, and they have really strong riders as well, and they're always usually in a break, and I usually don't have any teammates, so if a break goes up the road, then I need to make sure that I'm in it, because there's nobody to help bring it back. It'll just be pretty much me and the Swift Juniors. And the Swift Juniors would be the third team. That they have usually a pretty good little handful of local riders that are pretty strong. And if they make the break and I didn't, then that's it, race over. So I try and remember where we're at this point of the race. If there's a break off the front, I think Mark Tucker, I'm pretty sure at this point Mark Tucker and Chaz Turman are off the front, who are probably the two strongest motors in the race right now. But the format that they put forth for this race was no teams. So you couldn't work with your team, and everybody had to wear a different kit. So we have all these different retro kits, and nobody's really chasing hard enough. So I just went to the front and take a really hard dig for almost a full lap, and try to close that gap on those two. I figured if I get to the front and help close the gap, so pardon my fingers there, if I get close enough, then they'll start pulling through, which they do. So, and since there's no team, loyalty, they're supposed to all chase each other down. So that's kind of what's happening right now. So I kind of got the momentum going, and now we're going to bring back Mark and Chaz, and I was kind of expecting there just to be an immediate counterattack anyways. They did have some lap cards on the right hand side here. You'll see if somebody's standing there holding the lap cards. So yeah, there they are. There's a couple of the Swift Junior riders in front of me there. It's McKay and Ryan. I tell McKay to get me up there because they kind of opened up a gap and left me hanging, so I was kind of getting on him to help me out there. So that was nice of McKay to help me out there and give me a little push to get back up. So these guys on the front are going pretty hard right now. Our average speed for this race ended up being around 27 miles an hour, which on this course is actually really fast. Normally we're in the high 25s, low 26s. So today was very aggressive and very fast. kind of a reshuffling here because we brought back Mark and Chaz, so now it's just a matter of who the next attack is going to be. I had gone with a few breaks earlier, nothing really stuck. It was a very, with the dynamics of the everybody riding for themselves, there's just too many strong guys for any breaks to get away, unless it was just the right mix, and they just weren't able to be brought back. But with the amount of strong guys that were here, it was pretty strung out most of the time, so it was hard to get away. Brakes were shut down almost immediately. This is going, it's just a rectangle course. This is actually going into turn 2. Now we're on the back side of the course. Heading towards turn 3 is probably the most critical turn of the race because it's the most narrow, because it goes from this big wide lane road into a 1-lane boulevard. And then that's the final stretch to the final sprint. So I wanted to be in the top 3 for sure coming into this turn on the last lap. And I usually like to go early, like about right here. I like to jump early. I kind of really screwed up the finish of this race. You'll see when you see the last lap. I had a really good chance to win and I just flubbed it up. Gear selection is also important. 2 riders in front of me there is Nick Baird. Nick is the sprinter that I'm most worried about. He's almost really the only sprinter here other than maybe Richard Gable, he's a good sprinter, and Elias from ATP coaching team, but the Velo Kings team. A little Matt Amaro, he's from the Swift Juniors team. He's also a really good sprinter. So I want to say this is Mark Tucker just going for it on the front right here. And everybody's just responding to it. At this point of the race, I don't really think anything's going to get away because the field is just way too motivated and there's too many strong guys. It's George in front of me wearing an old retro Action Sports jersey. You can kind of look around, you can see there's a couple of Cortex jerseys. They're former teammates of Cortex. Nick used to be on the elite team, and Guy Vanata was on the Masters team. So they have 2 different colored jerseys on, even so they're not really on the same team, but they just both chose that as their retro jersey. I'm wearing my own team kit because I don't have any teammates, so I don't have to worry about it. The pace is staying high enough to I'm just gonna kind of sit just a few riders back, try to conserve my legs for the sprint, because hey, it's $100 on the line, right? A few of the Velo Kings guys were on a team called Revs last year, and they split from that team last year. So that's why they're wearing those kits. And then Chaz is wearing his old Muscle Milk team kit because that was the team that he was on. Alright, we're getting on it right here. It's coming into Bell Lap here. So Mark is just on the front, just drilling it, which is nice because then it keeps it safe and keeps it fast. I've got to get past a few of these guys before turn 3. So as soon as these guys roll up to speed, and you'll see Chaz in the front kind of doing a lead out for Nick. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't really care. It's kind of, all he did was just keep the pace steady. He didn't really do much of a lead out. He just kind of kept the pace high. So I slide in behind Nick. And what I should have done is I like to jump early and take the turn hard and fast so I can keep my momentum and stay on top of my gear. I'm in my 52.11 right now, which Nick's gonna jump here, so I go with him. He jumps, sits, and then takes the turn. I get inside of Chaz, and then I start to sprint, and I realize I'm in too big a gear, and I have to get on top of it, and Nick is gone. I just had no chance of catching him at that point because he had too much separation on me. So he gets first, and I hold on for second, and he gets the $100. So congrats to Nick. He deserved that one. That was an amazing sprint. Thanks for watching.